Antifa rioting has begun. We are seeing protests at the University of Washington where far leftists protesting Israel nearly set fire to the entire building. They attacked police. The police were trying to negotiate and they failed. They should know better. But the question is this a one-off or will these protests persist into the summer? The issue, of course, for these protesters is Israel, and that's why they're trying to set fire to the University of Washington, which largely agrees with their worldview. And they even occupied a building. This is getting dangerously close to, well, no, I'm going to say this. It is terrorism. These people are engaged in extreme acts of violence that could cause death for the purpose of pushing a political ideology or movement. That's terrorism. This is why businesses have been fleeing Seattle and Portland, because the far left is unchecked. The police will do nothing about it. Now, I'm going to tell you all right now, I know the common response from many leftists and liberals is, why do you care? It's a liberal, progressive town. You're correct. I don't want violence, mayhem, spreading, and sharing this message with all of you. It's about one thing. Don't let Antifa run amok in your town. That's the most important thing, lest you become like Washington or Portland. Now, we've got a lot of videos and photos of what exactly happened, but here's the story from the Post-Millennial. Antifa militants take over University of Washington, set fires, occupy building. Multiple fires were set by Antifa militants at the University of Washington campus in Seattle on Monday night. A group of Black Bloc Antifa occupied the interdisciplinary engineering building and blockaded the doors. The building opened just a few weeks ago, and the $100 million price tag was funded by private donors, taxpayers, a federal grant, Amazon, T-Mobile, and Boeing. Now, this probably was set in motion a long time ago. But I'm just going to say, in the past 8 years, I'm wondering when they actually started putting money toward building this. Because I would say right now, no federal funding should be going anywhere near these universities, any one of them, because they foment this behavior. And it's not about political ideology. It's about a waste of money. If you put money in these universities and these people come and burn the building down, you've just lost the money. And if the police will not get a handle on this, what is the purpose of putting any money in this city? Activists blocked the streets with bike racks and dumpsters. Cam Higbee has got a lot of coverage on this. He says, I'm on campus now and Antifa has started a dumpster fire at UW. This is the barrier that divides the encampment from the police who are lined up in the alley behind them. So we can see here this video. Flaming trash. And these people are banging their shields. Antifa gathering rocks to throw at police. Does anyone have projectiles? Directly followed by the gathering of stones to assault law enforcement. They're getting more emboldened. This is pretty crazy.
Feds on us after that one, if they're not already.
I'm actually surprised they let Cam stand around there filming. That's not normal. The fires were set around 10:30 p.m. local time, and neither the police nor firefighters were on scene as the fire grew. The university had lost complete control of the campus. Take a look at this video. I mean, this is absolutely insane. There were fears that this could actually catch the building. And yeah, that's how big fires start. And the building is probably steel, concrete, brick, so it's not likely to get torched. About 20 agitators were inside the building while another 60 were outside. When a private security vehicle approached, Antifa radicals dressed in black bloc with shields and forced it to retreat. University police called in the Seattle Police Department and the Washington State Patrol for assistance. Negotiators for SPD were also forced to fall back by the mob after law enforcement retreated. I just want to say, private security has a way better chance of stopping these protests than police for a couple of reasons. One, police are a target of these far leftists. Because they are a public institution, the far left says things like, we pay your salaries. They don't, because they don't pay taxes. I don't know. Maybe some of the trust fund kids do, although the left argues they don't pay taxes either. But the idea is, if the police do something wrong and start arresting people or attacking protesters, it's going to cause a public outcry. But private security, not so much. There's not going to be public outcry. If a private security guard is attacked and beaten by a mob, the public outcry will be against the protesters. Because the police are an authority, if the police attack protesters or defend themselves in any way, they will frame that as evil cops attacking peaceful protesters. But if it's a private security guard who tries to shoo them away and they use physical force against them, it's going to make them look really, really bad. The issue, of course, is no private security personnel actually wants to do anything about it. Neither do the police. There's video of the police trying to negotiate with these people, which is dumb because are you guys rookies? You rookies in Seattle? You've not watched any videos of these lunatic leftists? These people are deranged. You're not negotiating with someone whose brain doesn't work. They think 2 + 2 = 5. And that's not a joke. They literally do. So what do you think you're going to, hey, will you leave here? No. Oh, what if we let you protest somewhere else? 2 + 2 = 5. Your logic does not apply. What's the point? They're angry, deranged individuals. Antifa mobilized bike racks and statues from UW campus and placed them in the streets. There were at least 4 buses and several cars completely backed up on the streets surrounding the encampment building. Suspended student group Super UW and Antifa were seen bringing in food, water, coolers, and chairs to the building for the occupation, stating that they refused to leave until university met its list of demands, which included rejecting any donations from the Boeing and terminating any investments. Activists also demanded that Boeing executives and employees are prohibited from teaching classes or creating any curriculum. At this point, I don't care about these lunatics and any of this. Look at this. Katie Davis Court, Antifa militants taking over UW, protesting Israel. They do this with impunity. I would actually argue the city is helping make this happen. Because you don't have this for a decade or longer unless the city wants it to happen. There is no reason the police can't come and shut these protesters down. Rioters. I'm going to say this. It's probably, like the plot to RoboCop. The government wants the far left to cause damage, to keep property values down so they can scoop them up at a premium, drive people out, and take over the city. That's what I imagine is actually happening. We've got this. We already saw that one. We've got a bunch of videos here from Cam Higby. And I think there was one, I don't know where it is. He's got videos of police trying to negotiate, which is never going to work. He's got this video. Police have arrived at the University of Washington. They were blocked and repelled. Now, this is private security. It's not police. And they actually just don't. What are you doing? Why are you leaving? I got to be honest. I'd fire that company. For a security service, I would never hire that company if I was a business. You've got people rioting, setting fires, morons, with plastic bins cut to make shields, wearing gas masks. They're LARPing as revolutionaries at an expensive university. Why are we allowing this? Okay, you know what? This is why, largely, I just say, how does a country function this way? How do we allow these people to vote? They should not. You want to protest your $100 million new building and scream and demand like crazy people LARPing? I don't care. Go do it. Just don't do it on my dime and don't influence my government. Because now we get these liberals. I'll tell you what these liberals do. The liberals say things like, we should have a system in place by which this rule applies and this rule doesn't. And you say something like, hey, that rule negatively impacts me in a rural area, which makes no sense. And they said, we don't care. Guns being the best example. We're going to ban rifles. Okay, well, I live in the middle of the wilderness on a 200-acre property. What am I supposed to do when a bunch of wild boars store my property? This literally happened. Do you remember that? Was it the 15 to 30 wild boars or whatever the meme was? It's like, what do I do when 15 to 30 wild boars run on my property? And the liberals were like, ha ha ha, LOL, wild boars? That doesn't happen. And then every conservative in a rural area was like, what do you mean? Like, wild boars are a huge problem in the South. And you need to stop them because they kill people. But liberals don't care. They're like, I live in a city. You in the countryside shouldn't be allowed to have guns. Okay, well, there's different problems. Your rules don't make sense. Why are we going to allow these people to influence our government? And they are. But it's not even these people. Take a look at the leadership of the university system and the state of Washington. These people are influencing our government and putting that on us. I don't want them. Look, I don't care if they want to do this. Do it somewhere else. Don't bring those politics to our sound and reasonable logical system. But there is no good answer. There's no good answer. You don't excise a state from the union because 100 lunatics are rampaging around. To be fair, we do question federal funding and support for this state because they refuse to actually enforce the law. This is the cringe, most infuriating thing. These LARPers, this is why they're not doing anything, because their view of it is these are children playing Legos. These are children with no action figures. No, they're in their 20s. They're adults. They're psychopaths. Lock them up. Put them in jail. At a certain point, we've got to say, we will not let you disrupt and break our system. But instead, you get these videos. I don't know where. I want to try and find this video of these cops. I don't know if he actually has the video pulled up. There's a video of, let me see if I can find this one. Cops trying to negotiate. Negotiate. Let me see if I can pull this up. Negotiate Antifa. And it's never going to happen. Here we go. Jake Chapman. Here's the video from Kiro 7 Seattle. Look at this. Here's the cops negotiating with a bunch of developmentally disabled people LARPing. And you know what ends up happening? I think here we go. The cops give up. The cops are in on it. I don't care. I'm not playing these games. The cops are absolutely in on it. You want to come to me and you say things like, well, what do you mean? The cops are doing their best? No, they're not. They're letting these people do it. I don't care if you want to march in the street and yell Free Palestine. Please go do so. You have my blessing. But when you go set fires, wear shields, and attack people, that's when the police should be coming in, rounding them up, and arresting them. They don't. They don't do it because they're all in on it. So what's the point? What's the play? Are we going to tolerate this? Because if the Trump administration tolerates it, I don't know if there's a federal play in this regard, then in the summer, we will get worse. The argument from police is always this. If we arrest them, more will show up. We don't want to create any viral moments of people being attacked. We want to let them do it and hope it goes away. That has never worked. Perhaps there's no solution. Because I do agree. I've seen it over and over and over again. If the police came in and in any way they were able to get a video of a cop attacking somebody, they would use that to recruit and rally. There's a simple way to handle this. Kettling. That's what they do in New York. And that's why in New York, you rarely get videos of New York cops beating people. They don't do it. They don't use tear gas. You get a big orange net, you wrap it around the extremists, and you say, guys, you're all under arrest. They did it in D.C. They did it in New York. They don't do it here in Washington. And they should. They should just be like, we're arresting you. You guys are starting fires. Bye. In D.C., when these people rioted during Trump's first inauguration, they set fires, they smashed windows, and they ended up winning. Because the black bloc tactic. The government was trying to say, they're all wearing black. They've conspired with each other. And what ends up happening is, in court, the argument was, you can't prove my client did anything wrong simply because he's wearing a black hoodie and jeans. I think they should have got convicted. Because when they tell you, show up wearing the same thing, it's a known tactic. It's called black bloc. It is intending to make it so police can't arrest people. It is a conspiracy to commit these crimes. And the argument is, what if somebody's walking down the street wearing a black hoodie and sweatpants and he's not part of the riot? And then he goes to prison. You have arrested 200 and some odd people. The ones that were wearing hoodies and sweats or black jeans, so they all look the same, should have been convicted. Instead, they got let go, sued the city, and won. So I'm over it. I think we should have a zero tolerance policy for these psychopaths. Again, you want to protest? Fine. If you want to link arms and block traffic, I am okay with that. You should be arrested. You should. Slap on the wrist. If you're protesting Israel, I think the appropriate means by which you press upon the system is you obstruct traffic or doorways, nonviolent civil disobedience. You can obstruct the system. You can jam them up. You'll be arrested. They'll give you a desk appearance or something and a slap on the wrist, and you'll get a $50 ticket. And that is to say, there will be a penalty for breaking the law, but we're not going to destroy your life because we understand what a protest is for. Putting on shields and setting fires. Now, look, if these were actual revolutionaries who are saying we've made our declaration to overthrow the government because we've used an oppressive force, I'd say that's an argument. It is. Crush them, lock them up. But that's an actual argument. What they're doing right now is saying we will burn your property, set fire to try almost burn your buildings down, seize them until you give us what we want. Yeah, no, that's terrorism. So until we actually get something from some backbone, I guess, I expect we'll see more of this in the summer, but we'll see. I'm going to leave it there. Smash that like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Stay tuned. Follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all in the next segment.